Yes.
Does it piss you off that there's so many libraries where people can get like music and tiny soundtracks for their social media output like for free?
Not really, because it's all about quality. You can go with something that's free, but then you don't get something that you own, that some people will, associate with your brand. I think one of the funniest things to me that goes on right now is there's all these slick little ads that are being made that pop up on YouTube when you're watching other things, and every single one of them has the same visual style. It's like these stock videos of people studying blueprints over a desk, and like, this guy created this amazing thing, and it's all the same style writing on the screen, and they all use the exact same piece of music.
Yeah.
So it's great that you can get that for free, but I don't know, is that this product or is that product? Is this the new slick air conditioner, or is this the new drone that has all these capabilities that none of the other ones do, and no one remembers what they are afterwards because it's all the same.
Yeah.
And so that stuff doesn't really piss me off, because if you want to own the music or the logo that's associated with your brand, and you want people to identify it with your brand, then you're not going to use that free stuff. You're going to come to us.
Yeah.
And do you think it's difficult to convince people or make them understand that that is extremely difficult, as we know that music is so emotional and we have an amazing memory for sound? So is it difficult or how difficult would it be to convince a brand that they need their own sound?
Well, it's certainly a challenge, but I think that, presented in the right context, which is just the things that we've been talking about, I think that the good creative people at agencies and elsewhere understand that a unique piece of music, a unique corporate logo, a unique branding idea will set them apart from everybody else. Mm-hmm. So I think it's just getting that, the challenge is communicating that idea, to the people who are making the decisions, and getting them to spend the money to do it right, because it does make a difference with the awareness that consumers will have.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the, I don't know how many, so many things that you've already done in your life. One that everyone knows is the doodle-doodle-doo, the Deutsche Telekom, T-Online. How did that happen? I mean, also like the creative process, because you go like, me as a musician, I go like do 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 do. So it's actually just two different notes. It's not even like five. It is five, but it's just like two. It's so simple and so damn catchy, good. And I know that you work with Joe Barone together, but how did that happen?
Well, we were in a process with many international companies on that competition who were trying to create this corporate brand logo for Deutsche Telekom. And, when you're in that process, you have a lot of people creating, what's this idea? And we're trying to come up with all these things. And the logo was, these dots with a T. And at that time, although we've seen it in different forms now, the logo was ... T . And so it's like, why don't we make something that sound-wise matches what we see in that logo? And it's like, what is that? Do 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 do.
So clever.
Like you say, it's two notes, and there was only two visuals in that logo, and it matched, and so cool. It's simple.
Brilliant.
And it's identifiable. You hear that in your head, and that's how it came about.
Because I was actually always wondering, were the dots there before, and did they come up with the dots because of the music tag, like the doodle-doodle-dee, or was it the other way around? So now hearing this, like, so smart. I sometimes try to also, well, like when I work or work around ideas for brands, I even like, you know, it's like a spelling competition to myself. So I go like S, which would be in German, it's a E flat, you know. So whenever you have like a S in their name, in the logo, go like, let's start with the E flat, and then, you know, sometimes this already leads to like an idea, not necessarily always, but what is difficult about working with big brands?
I think the most difficult thing is that there are often, you know, many people involved in the decision-making process. And so typically, you know, you'll be working with the creative team, who is already several people. But then, you know, it's levels of like, it has to get, you know, approved by that team, but then it also has to go up to the next person or team. And it's those levels of getting many people to approve what you're doing. And, you know, everybody has different tastes. And so that's probably the biggest challenge of finding something that everyone from the creative team to the executives, the account people, everyone has to be on board with it. So that's definitely probably the biggest challenge. Because, you know, if it was just the, you know, us creating it, it's like, here you go, we have the perfect thing, and you present them with one idea, and it's like, this is it, it's it, you know.
Sure.
But obviously, you know, that's not the way that it works. But, you know, also, you know, I do think that that's the fun challenge of it, is to trying to find something that everyone is happy with, you know, and what a great feeling that is when you can do that.
I also noticed that the jingles that were up on the website are very rhythmical. Do you think that could be part of that language that you're looking for? That sort of doom doom doom, that kind of, I don't know, it's kind of a rolling rhythmical sound. Is that where you think you would be going into that direction?
I mean, I think that's possible. I mean, honestly, when I am doing the creative process, or when I'm in the middle of it, I don't really think that much about those types of things. You know, I think about the emotion that I want to be feeling, or the emotion that I want to convey to the listener. And I think that it's just a nature of creative people that you are going to create something that has your personality and your sensibility to it. It's much harder to come up with things when someone tells you very specifically, no, this is what I'm looking for, because then you're not using your own personality and your own creative instincts.
Yeah.
You're like, how am I going to fit this square into this circular
That's
box?
harder, I guess.
Much harder. So I don't know. I don't disagree with what you're saying about what your perception of the things that you've heard, but at least from my perspective, in terms of the tracks that I kind of started, and it is a kind of a back and forth process between Baum and I to create these things. It's not any, you know, either of our singular voices, but I don't think that, you know, and I think that Baum would probably agree. It's like you kind of don't think about those aspects that much. You just kind of do what you feel and follow your instincts, and that becomes your voice, whether you like it or not. So it's definitely more of a challenge to try to, you know, which is why I think that good communication with the client is important, because hopefully they're coming to you because of your sensibilities, and they're not trying to, you know, to put you into that, you know, circular box or square box or.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, you know how much, Tim, you know how much I love drums. I'm like drawn to drums, like pretty much. I mean, yes, the guitar is my main instrument, and thanks to you, that's a long story we're not going to tell you here, but I also was allowed to discover the beautiful world of playing bass. Thank you again. I really love that. But drums is just like, I don't know. It's like the oldest instrument in the world. And you're a drummer. And I remember one of my former drummers saying, like, Baum, you're a drummer at heart. And I think that's true. I'm always drawn towards like these rhythms and stuff like that. And I personally think, yes, but just rhythm doesn't work. You need like, melodies and structures and sounds and landscapes and what have you. But whenever there's like, drums and claps and stomps, I'm all...
It's archaic. It's the archaic base of sound, isn't it?
Yeah. I saw like one of the latest Ford TV ads, like for, I think it was like the Mustang or something like another model, and the music started and was like, oh, that is so smart. I would not expect something like that, when it comes to like car brand kind of. But I was highly fascinated because it was so rhythmical, the vocals, the instrumentation. It was very like archaic, but it was also very modern, and that creating like these kinds of worlds is pretty cool. But I think like as for us, it's always going to be like creative table tennis. You come up with like a melody, and even though you were the drummer, I'm not the drummer, I might have an idea for like a drum pattern, or you might have an idea for chord changes, even though you're a drummer, not a guitarist, what have you, stuff like that. But the vice versa inspiration, as I said before, the creative table tennis, yeah, that's gonna be cool.
I do think too that the rhythmic content of music is very important to advertisers, because that's kind of where the base of the energy of music is. Mm-hmm. In other words, if you have like really hyper rhythms with a lot of different beats going on, that creates an exciting energy. But maybe that's not the right thing for that particular product. Maybe you want something that's a little calmer, or that puts the customer at ease. Mm-hmm. And so again, you can still approach that from a rhythmic point of view. Maybe in terms of what you don't do. Mm-hmm. Maybe you don't want that hyper rhythm because that's not the feeling that you want the customer to have or the listener to have. So I do think that rhythm and how you approach it has a lot to do with the base of the feeling that you're creating in any particular piece of music. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, yeah. And the good, I don't know, probably sounds a bit cocky, but right now I feel like good thing about it is we can actually do both. We can come up with like rhythm patterns that are kick-ass, but then also like the beautiful songs. I mean, we've proven that over the last couple of years, and that's a very comfortable situation.
Sure.
Still knowing that we
sounds
will
fun.
learn and discover a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, can we do that again after like a couple of weeks or so, when we're like when there's like some first experiences with clients, and then we can maybe. Sure. People like that, maybe even young people that are kind of interested
about,
in
where we
sound
come,
designs.
where we came from, kind of professionally speaking. That'd be fun too, just to sort of have a round of like, where did you grow up, Tim? That kind of thing. It'd be quite fun to know more about the persons behind TNER.
Yeah.
Which brings me to ask the question of how to bloody hell pronounce TNER in English.
Well, you say they're
German,
British English,
TNER.
right? TNER.
As you might have noticed, I speak British English. Ha ha. But it's, in American it's TNER. How does anyone pronounce, is it TNER? What do you say, Tim?
TNER.
TNER. I can't even say that. TNER.
I usually say like it's like Baumgartner without the Baumgar.
Okay.
And then people get it, you know. And with you, it's like Leitner without delay.
I mean, it's fray without the nair without the fray.
Well, we're gonna make these 4 letters super famous. I'm sure. I'm sure.
No, I'm certainly looking forward to it. I think for me, the moment last week or 2 weeks ago, when we finally got the website up and running, and your friend Fabio was here, and we did all the emails. For me, it was all a little bit abstract still, to be honest. But now, having the bits of sound and listening around what this all is, it's really getting exciting. Yeah.
We all will get the picture, and it's new, and it's
Yeah.
for me, it's exciting. It's like super exciting.
Yeah. Let's go for it.
So,
Okay.
kisses to Manhattan.
Well, it was lovely to talk to
from
you, Tim.
Basel with love, Tim.
You too.
Take care. Talk
Yes.
soon.
Mwah.